Well, thank you to Doubletake Promotional Marketing for sponsoring this episode and all episodes of the Brewstorm. Matt and his team there are incredible. If you need new swag, and you know that you do, everyone needs new swag, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone needs new swag. Head on over to Doubletake Promotional Marketing and check out their pendants, check out their sweatshirts, check out their epic koozies. Again, they have a lot of swag. If you see something that you need that's not there, just let me know and I'll contact Matt directly. You'll be hearing more from them and their team soon, but for now, peace out.
So when I was editing the last week's podcast, and we were laughing at your giant slurp.
Yeah.
You can't hear it at all.
I know.
For some reason, it
actually
didn't pick it up at all in the mic.
I know. Let's try it again.
I was simultaneously trying to open this as loud as I can into the mic in case we ever.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
I like it.
I was waiting for that to
You know what we should have done, guys?
Yeah.
We should have rated the beer at the end of every
We can start rating
Brewstorm.
beers.
Okay.
We're only 7 episodes in.
We're only 7 episodes in. This is episode 8, actually.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
We are 7 in.
yeah, that's what I said.
You know what we should do is, Dan, since you typically pick up the beer, we should do like a blind rating. You just put the beer in our amazing koozies. Thanks to our friends over at Doubletake Promotional Marketing.
Oh yeah.
And then we at the end of each episode we rate the beer.
That sounds pretty good.
Or we try and guess what the beer is.
Try to guess the brand. We'll be able to tell the type.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope so. We drink a lot of beers. So.
Sorry, I meant like the beer, not
The brand, the type
everything.
of beer it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
especially
Next episode.
because we tend to skew more towards like the IPA stuff.
Yeah.
Like if they're fruitier and
Yeah.
what the fruits are, I think that would be
What
pretty.
the fruits are.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Like
go.
a
'Cause
little,
you know what?
like,
It's hard to remember.
a
Like if it's like a
pineapple-y-
microbrewery that you've never heard of that's like new,
Right.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna get that.
Yeah.
But if it's like we unpack we guess the composition of the beer. We could also guess the ABV. I don't know.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
Why not?
Guess that at
Just
the
to
end,
keep
based
things
on
a
how
little
you're feeling.
spicy. Yeah.
I almost got there was one that was looking really good, and it was 9.5%, and I was like, maybe we should pick another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Those 8% from last week.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. Jeez. What are we talking about today? Dan, you were supposed to pick the topic this week. I heard.
Really?
You didn't get the text? Also, you know one of the things I learned? Dan doesn't read his text until you text him like 4 times.
No, I always
And then
read,
he reads
I
it.
always read the text.
You just don't always respond.
Well, a lot of times it's not necessarily pertinent for me to respond. For example, saying I sent you something.
Cool.
Like I'm not looking at the thing until I don't know. Anyway, I should probably respond to things more.
No, you're actually pretty good. I'm just screwing.
Did you
with
read your Slacks?
But I feel like
prior to this?
you miss things.
Did you guys talk about the topic in Slack?
Yes, we did.
We slacked out a couple.
We're like,
What is that
who's got the
Slack?
topic this week? And we're like, oh, Dan. What is that? That's your computer. Oh, because did you set a timer?
I have a hot take.
A student needs to be like the focal point.
I'm gonna get threats from faculty members.
Oh, was that the podcast? Did you start the podcast?
There we go. All
right.
Now we're cooking with Crisco. Anyways, we were making fun of you because you were supposed to pick the topic of the week. And you didn't.
I was just heavily
We decided
in
over
my-
Slack. That was the thing.
Oh,
Speaking
man.
of communication, you're not reading messages.
I thought, I don't know. I thought maybe we'd have a really authentic, just actually coming up with the topic on the spot.
All right, I've
do
got. That's basically
no,
what we did.
I
We
can't.
we literally were like, all right, Dan, you're gonna bring up a topic, and we're just gonna run with it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you guys decided?
Yes. But if I don't want to put you on the spot, if you're feeling a little squeamish in your white pepperoni shirt,
My-
what would you describe? How would you describe the shape or the texture of
shape.
that?
Very shirt shape.
All right. What if we talk about like video, and we talk about like why your videos, like why higher ed videos typically like really suck, and or why your video
My videos
strategy
really suck?
No, not yours. Silly. Yeah, I mean, they only partially suck. Depends on the video, actually.
Fair.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen a video from yours that I would categorize as suckish. I'm sure they exist, but I have not seen them. But no, but like, what about like your video strategy is probably broken? Here's why. Something along the lines of like how the way that schools are using video is probably misaligned from consumers' desire for video. It's pretty vague.
See,
but
yeah, that's good because I feel like even us, we haven't really figured out the best way to use the videos yet.
Use the old video machine.
And Dan, I mean, you're like at this point you're the show favorite. Everyone's like wondering, like people the comments, people are like commenting, saying like, hey, I wonder what Dan's gonna wear next week. I wonder what Dan's gonna say. His pipe-ins are few. When they come, they're filled with gold.
Sometimes, every now and again.
Every other.
After editing.
After I dub in the
I love the
good
fact
stuff.
that last time we recorded, when we were at like happy hour across the street, you're like, all right guys, confession. One of the things that I do when I have like an insight to say, I like validate it for like 10 minutes in my head. I'm like, when can I share this? Like I have like a good insight. Like let me just like wait for the perfect moment to insert it. Dan, there's no perfect moment. You just gotta go for it.
It's terrible.
Just go balls to the wall, man. Like
I struggle deeply with going balls to the wall.
So okay, you are the video guy, so you got to start this, man. So get us going. Like when you think about right why higher ed video strategy might be broken. First of all, do you agree with that? Could you agree with that? And then second, why do you think that is?
I mean, at least in our experience and in past freelance stuff that I've done, it seems like there's always this push and pull of like creating more content that's better for like just short content to get further out rather than just having like one small like 2-minute video. Like instead of doing like 10-15 second videos and like putting those on ads or something. And I mean, this is something that I feel like we always know that we need to like figure out how to do, but something that we've struggled with, at least with trying to make work with all of our videos. And I feel like everyone who makes videos, all of the universities, even just like other companies, don't know how to really get the most out of their videos.
So you're saying, folks,
and that's like a problem. At least.
The problem is people will spend all this time, all this money creating this 2-minute video. They have 350 gigabytes worth of data, of footage, and they don't really know what to do with it.
Yep, pretty much.
I think we could probably wrap, huh?
Yeah, I think that was good, but 4 minutes on the clock?
I feel like kind of like what you're saying, they spend a ton of money to make one like brand video, thinking this will be a one-size-fits-all video. Anybody who watches this would be like, oh, that institution is the best. Whereas like we try and personalize literally every other part of like the marketing material that we're putting out. But with video, we think like, higher ed thinks like, I'll just put out one awesome video that showcases our school and our campus and a student or a faculty member, and that will be enough and that will work. Rather than like, well, you don't just launch one email or one digital ad. Like you're doing all of these things and you're trying a ton of different stuff to connect with people. And so rather than thinking like, how do I get a banner video that's going to look good on my website, thinking about like, how can I create video that's going to create value for this audience or this persona or this group of potential students. I feel like it tends to be where schools fall a little short.
Yeah. I feel like also a lot of like the kinds of videos that people make do generally they're generally like interview videos that have lots of people that they interview, and lots of that content doesn't end up in the final video. And that's like a huge opportunity in itself of like each one of those things can be a video on its own. Mm-hmm. And it's probably even better targeted if say you have like an international student and like someone who is a local student and like a faculty member and like I don't know, an adult student, like mashing those all into one video doesn't target any one group, but each of those people that are interviewed are unique, have their own backgrounds that many other students have. So that's a perfect targeted video for all your international students or all of your like adult learning students. And I feel like, yeah, again, everyone just wants to tell their best story, make their really beautiful, polished brand video, but like, I feel like it's the smaller stories that really are honestly more useful to the students that are.
Yeah, it seems like you could, and maybe you can speak to this more on like the editing front, but if you started out with the smaller videos, that's going to actually help you build maybe that bigger brand video, because you can then pick from a bigger library of like, you know, anytime we do video thing where you're interviewing people, it's not 30 minutes of gold. Like there's a couple nuggets in there that are awesome that you want to pull. You pull that from like 4 core audiences and put that in your brand video with some B-roll and some music or whatever, and like that's your video. Stop trying to make the like big video and then break it all down into these like smaller things.
Yeah. What I would say is like, when we talk about video as like a medium, I feel like we should like unpack this a little bit, because I think about like videos, like video ads or video, and not even that they need to be like formalized, like actual like paid ads, but videos that are used to drive attention or action somewhere, right? So like a video on social, even if it's not a, you know, promoted piece of content, like a paid piece of content, if the goal of that video is to drive people to a specific page on your website or something like that, I would categorize it as like promotional in that it's trying to get the viewer to take an action, right? Versus like an educational video, right, is really the purpose of that. Maybe it's longer form, maybe it's interview based. The purpose of that video is to help somebody walk away with a better sense of like the program. If it's like a program overview video where you're interviewing like a faculty member, maybe a current student, and maybe like an alumni or something like that. And then I think there's like videos that are used in just like one-to-one videos, right? Like communications, literally like the sole purpose is to try to distill a bunch of information to Shane or to Dan that could have been an email, but we want to make it a little bit more dynamic, so we make a video out of it, like a Loom video, right, or like a drift video or something like that. I think all video, regardless of type and medium, is like broken in higher ed, and I feel like sometimes people are taking the approach of like they're trying to make a one-to-one communication like truly educational, like they're trying to make the one-to-one communication what the 5-minute program overview video should be. Yeah. Or they're trying to make the one-to-one communication like the 30 to 60 second like brand video. And I think sometimes people take the, you know, education video and they try to make it as interesting and dynamic as the 30 to 60 second like brand overview video, and then vice versa. And I think that like it's remarkable. I think maybe the one thing that schools have going for them that is relatively consistent is like a 30 to 60 second brand overview video. I feel like overview video. I feel like most schools have that. Most schools like do a decent job at that. I think everything else beyond like an institutional wide like brand video is just like a shit show, and like nobody knows how to fund this well. Nobody knows how to like what to expect from these communications. And one of the things like I guess one of my like personal hot takes on video is, I know everyone's like, just give a student like, you know, an iPhone and have them like walk around campus and like talk to your prospective students about the experience. I very much still believe like at the end of the day, quality content, like higher production wins over lower production all the time. And I'm sure that there are campaigns and data where people are like, well, you know, like giving a student a camera and having them walk around campus is more of an authentic experience. And yes it is. But at the end of the day, unless that is edited super well, or you just have like an influencer like Rockstar, like who's acting and you know can produce something like that, I think 9 times out of 10 it will fail to the more polished, higher budget 30-second overview of campus.
But I think that's more, I'm agreeing with you, but the reason I think is because the scrappier videos, the ones that are less quality, are truly authentic, and that's the only time in which you use a scrappy video like that.
I don't think a lot of these students actually want.
No. I agree. Authentic. I agree. But it is authentic versus you can make a highly produced authentic video at the same time. That's probably more effective. People just don't. And so when people are like, well, the scrappy video is authentic, it works better. it's like, well, I bet you apples to apples, a highly produced authentic video versus a lower quality produced video, the highly produced one will work better. But I feel like people don't spend time on the like authentic, high quality videos. They think like, okay, we'll do the short, scrappy thing because that's authentic, and not thinking like you can be authentic
like,
and
it's almost
still
like
have high production.
Authentic is an excuse for cheap.
Right. Yeah. It's synonymous with like just a scrappy, just throw it together and put it out there. Where it's like it doesn't need to be that way to be authentic. It can be authentic and be incredibly high production value.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's not the way people have treated authentic video, and so therefore, any data that suggests that maybe the authentic phone video with a student, it's like, well, you're not really comparing apples to apples again. You're going apple to orange here. Does it work better over a brand video? Yeah, because it's more personalized too. Like,
I just feel like if schools like took all of the budget that they use for like content creation and just threw it into video and decided, no, like we are going to be high volume, high production, they would crush. And I don't know why schools aren't doing this at scale.
The schools that have film programs, video program, like there's so many schools that
Purdue
have.
actually does a good job of this, I think.
Really?
I've seen more of their stuff recently. I think they do a decent job of this. But by and large, like the fact that like we live and friggin' work in this space, and we don't see, it's not like we're seeing videos that are great examples of just like kick-ass, compelling storytelling.
Right.
That could be, measurable with respect to inquiry generation in any capacity.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just like a freaking massive opportunity.
Oh yeah.
And I legitimately don't understand. There are schools with massive budgets. Not every school is like that for sure. Many schools aren't. But even the ones with massive budgets, I guess maybe the argument is like, oh well, they don't have to do it because they're University of Florida or like they're like whoever. But I don't know. I feel like schools should test taking 100% of their budget for content creation for a year and put forget the blogs, forget literally every type of other content. Pull back from your organic social. Yes, you're gonna miss somebody's barbecue and it's gonna make them sad, but that's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Because you should put all of your resources in video for a year, high production, high caliber video.
Yeah.
That would crush because no one's doing it.
It depends. I think schools will need to outsource that for a ton of reasons.
Yeah, I'm not saying like they could do that. They're capable of doing that in-house necessarily. But if you put all of your budget towards that.
Yeah, right. 100%. Yeah, because I think that one of the bigger problems too is like people don't know what's a good video and what's not. Like it's probably easy to see a finished product when you don't know video super well and be like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because like, what are you comparing that to? Like, just another school you've seen? Well, who knows? That school spent a fourth of what you spent. So is it really good?
Yeah.
Is it not good? Like, okay, you think it's good, but you know all the ins and outs of your institution, and maybe you're connecting a couple dots in your head, whereas in the grand scheme of things, there's no like storyline, plot, anything here. It's just, here's this thing, here's this thing, here's this thing.
Yeah.
Come to X university, and it's like, what? That didn't give me anything to work with.
And then you just end up with just another inauthentic video,
right?
Because that's like, you're just creating a brochure in a video format.
Yeah.
So I feel like the key of like good, authentic video is more the storytelling of like, okay, what's actually? Oh, my computer's going.
Oh, come on, man. I got you.
Like,
keep going.
So if you have like really good storytelling that is actually going to be like capturing the real student stories and the real like impact of your school and whatnot, and I think like when people have the discussion about like authentic is because like we have like some kid with a camera or something. I mean, I think maybe it's more authentic because you're just getting like raw footage.
Yeah.
But I don't think that necessarily means that it is more authentic, because I feel like the authenticity is if they're telling like an actual good story that is actually like people are able to connect with. And I think that goes back to your all's point, is like you can do that, on whatever, like, on a real cheap budget or like real polished, like, quality video. But
and I think it's obvious to prospective students when a video is like super filtered / edited, meaning this student was told what to say, or like this student definitely said some other things based on like what they were saying, and then it kind of took this direction. It seems like they were talking about dorms and like, oh, this part's cool, and then but the room, and then it's kind of like, oh, and then it goes to this library is great, and it's like, all right, you kind of like wove out some of the stuff. It's a little obvious, and I feel like prospective students are probably pretty good at picking up on that type of thing. And so when you do that, it's almost like doing you a disservice. It's not really adding to anything. And it doesn't matter whether that's high quality or low quality. It's like, well, you edited out the authenticity. Yeah. So therefore,
it's because
not
it's edited, people are like, oh, it's a high quality video we made. But it's like, no, you made a shitty low quality video. You just like, spent a lot of time. It just looks
good.
Yeah, exactly. And like you had a nice camera or something, but like you still made a shitty video.
Yeah.
I feel like, I think one of the things that as you guys are talking, that I'm just like playing through my head is like, whether people really want authentic content versus like the spectrum of authentic content to inspirational content or idealistic content, meaning like, if I'm looking at a college or university, do I really like want to see a student tell their authentic story? And I guess we unpack the word authentic and what does it mean, and I don't want to go down that road. But, or do I want to see the inspirational, like, holy crap, this is what I could become, recognizing, and this is what I could get out of the school, recognizing that, yes, like, nobody's perfect. And I feel like where the whole idea of like authentic marketing came from, it was like after decades of like really shitty, like bait and switch marketing that happened across industries. But I just feel like your average consumer is just way more, people are just smarter, right? They understand when they're being sold something that is like disingenuous, more so than ever before. And I feel like some schools have taken to heart this idea of just like authentic video content, forgetting the quality of the actual video, but just like the kind of story that they end up telling. And it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm weird here. Do students want like the like as is, the true like just as is state, or do they want to be like pitched like the desired state of like, this is, this is who you could actually become here. Yeah. Versus, here's where people are at. Does that make sense? I don't even
but I feel like going back to what we had chatted about a couple episodes ago, of like when I went to CNU and like got what I feel like was a real experience of like, here's what my college life might be like. That in a video format, I think is possible. Yeah. I don't think the school would ever put that type of thing out. And so I feel like I would prefer one-to-one video messaging, texting, whatever, with a student that I've identified myself with, a program, with a fraternity, sorority, a sport, a club, whatever it is. Like, again, give me somebody kind of like what I feel like I'll be involved in at the campus. Let me talk to somebody like that. And I want their authentic story of what it's like, pros and cons. Because I feel like you'll get a much more unfiltered thing. And that's going to be hard for some schools. Because like, if you're not the shit, people are going to know pretty quick. Yeah. But like, I feel like that's all kind of leveled out, where schools have reputations, like all these things exist for a reason. But it would be cool to get a video from somebody that you're like, okay, I know that I want to be in the cybersecurity program. Here's what it's really like. This sucks. Like, this dude's like, I am spending 10 hours a day coding, doing these other things between classes, whatever. Like, it's a lot. I really like it, but it's a lot. Yeah. And you're like, ooh, I'm maybe a little on the lazier side. Like, that's probably not for me. Yeah. Again, weird example, but I feel like that's something where you can get a truer sense of what it's like to like potentially be in the shoes that you're going to be in, versus the, oh, you can do all these great things. Well, and it's like, maybe that works for some people, and it surely does, because I feel like that's the general MO of commercials for Phoenix Online. Any of those like other schools, they take the very inspirational thing, but I feel like the, let me try and walk a mile in my own shoes before I get there type of thing is super cool if done well.
Going back to like you know, having some guy go around like campus with a camera or something. I feel like, imagine like you actually did have someone like almost do that, but in a really strategic way, and like get those real like, you know, day in the life, but like actually capturing the cool stuff that's going on, and then like put that together like with a really talented editor and like, you know, a good packaging of like graphics and like, you know, really polishing up the really like, you know, phone video or whatever. I feel like that would be almost what you're talking about, because like then you're actually, I think you're marrying the two of like, you know, the truly authentic, raw, unfiltered with something that is highly produced. Because I don't think like highly produced means like shot on a nice camera. It could be shot on an iPhone by the kid, but like
really well. Yeah.
If you have like a good personality, you're capturing the right stuff on campus, and you're packaging it, you know, really well, then I think you could actually make exactly what you're asking for. Like one of the things, like, you know, I call myself, I say I'm, you know, really good at editing, not really great at shooting, but I do end up filming a lot. And why I'm like okay with that I'm not like the best shooter in the world, is if I have like shitty footage, but you know, I'm an amazing editor, I can make an amazing video. Yeah. If I have amazing footage and I'm a shitty editor, I'm gonna make a shitty video.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you have
nice little humble brag there.
If you have shitty footage of a student, and you edit it together, you know, really terribly, you're gonna have a terrible video. So,
well, we call that an authentic video.
That's right.
Yeah, I feel like doing something, it could be cool to have like high production for certain parts of the video. Like, again, high production meaning good camera, really good like lighting, filming, everything is like on point of, you know, student in class, student at practice, student in some meeting, whatever, group project, like all these other things that maybe are part of your normal, maybe like a week or a month condensed to a day. And then the students like response / reaction to those things of like, oh, just left this thing, blah, blah, here's kind of what we did, like a quick like recap, but it's like on their phone, in their face, where it's a little bit more, here's the thing, here's this person's like response and take from it. That's a little bit scrappier for just from like they're on their phone, not a high production thing. If people would find more value in something like that, where it's like, here's the stuff, but here's the response also of like, just because, you know, this person didn't sit in class all day and was like, I love class, it's just so much fun. Like anytime, if anybody were to show me that when I was 18, I've been like, loser.
I still feel like it's we should go back to like, I guess where my mind is at here with the whole going all in on video, and why I feel like that could be a competitive advantage for just about any school, is like I'm thinking about to the point you just made. You know, what does it look like to say like, hey, find somebody in every type of class, every type of program you offer, and incentivize them. Hey, make a reel of this class. Like, you know, talk to us about like for the next like month. We want you to create one reel a day of like what you're learning in class, why it's interesting, and throw. You know, you do whatever you want. Our only objective here is like we want to see the classroom, we want to see the students, right? Yeah. And we want some sort of like spin on it. Like, what is the story you're trying to tell? That's it. And then you have creative freedom. You take all of that. You have them, you know, use your admissions, you know, or brand account if you could stomach that. But like your admissions account to create all that content. The students who are studying journalism, who would go to like the sports games and like literally like, you know, write up an article, forget the article, have them in real time, like on Snap, on Instagram, right? Live reporting what they're seeing from the actual game. Like literally, I guess what I'm saying is like, and I think that we could, you know, maybe all agree with, is like, there is a totally missed opportunity to go all in on this medium. And the bar is so freaking low because no one's doing it and no one's doing it well, that with like a half decent strategy and a little bit of intentionality, you could drum up an army of video creators. Also, newsflash, a lot of Gen Z and certainly Gen Alpha, want to be creators. Like this is the sexy thing that people want right now. Why can't we leverage that? So meaning all the user-generated authentic content ends up coming from your community. And then you as the institution, you're pouring tons of resources. I mean, like where this is going, the future, right? I should be able to go to a website and filter in, I want to study business. I'm interested in this sport. I'm interested in this extracurricular. And then there should be a video that is spun out that more or less meets literally all of my criteria of what I'm looking for from a student as close to me as humanly possible. Like that's true personalization. That's where things are going. We're far from that right now. But how do we move in that direction?
That reminds me of this actually like this campaign that I worked on a long time ago where we get like different professionals in different industries to do like a Snapchat takeover. And they would like do the day in the life of like what it is. And they would brag and they would like, you know, show off the cool bits of whatever they did in their day to day. And then, so that was like, you know, a piece of content in itself. But then like if it's a story or something that it's only live for 24 hours. So we would download that and then cut it into like a snappier little like polished up version of their like day, you know, takeover. And then there's like another much more like bite-sized, digestible and like polished piece of content based on that like super authentic raw, but at the same time flashy, braggy, and like you know.
I feel like that's every good vlog ever. It's,
exactly.
All this documented like all these experiences, and then we create this, you know, 1 to 2 minute just like really flashy, cool looking like the best of each of the snippets. But you're keeping like, it's not a letdown when you watch it. In that you already saw all the like, it's not like a movie trailer where they spoil the ending. Like it's one of those things where it's like, that's so cool. I want to see the build up to this thing or other people's response reaction to this thing. Like, and you keep people entertained because they almost have, it's their table of contents like for a video. And you even play it at the beginning of the video. It's a 30-minute video. You can't just expect someone to click into it, start from the beginning. This is shots of the Brewstorm. And then just like watch the whole video and be like, I'll keep watching even though I have no idea where this is going, right? And like when you can provide that level of detail at the forefront, it's like, well, you're either interested and you're not. And if you're not interested, them watching all 30 minutes wouldn't mean anything anyway, because at the end they're gonna go, that sucked, that was not interesting. Like, how do you really, again, capture those experiences, show them early on in a highly produced way, and then get into the like authentic content that really takes them through each of those in way more depth.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so here's something like practical.
Straw.
Nice. That was one of my inside joke, folks. So if I was a CMO and I was listening to this conversation and I was like, you guys are, I don't know, like you guys are all over the place. This has been a bouncy conversation, but I like bouncy conversations.
All right.
Like, and I wanted something like a little bit more like practical to walk away with. What I think would be really interesting is put out a university broadcast to all your students and say, hey, we're looking for 150, 200 creators, like whatever. Come up with a number representative to your, full-time student body. And let's say you're looking for 200 creators, right? You throw up a little bit of an application. They'll get featured on a university account. And we'll pay you a creator stipend, right? For whatever, you decide however much that should be, $500, let's say, right? And then what you do is you get these creators, like you just use the word creator, right? First of all, you have to use creator as the word because people will freaking latch onto that. You get all these people to apply, you sort through their social, whatever. You find 200 of them, right? And you bring them together and you're like, Dan, for this semester, you're gonna cover the women's volleyball team. Shane, this semester, you're covering, Dr. Frank's biology lab. Hot dog. And you basically divvy people up, right? And you say here's what I want. I'm gonna give you $500 and all I'm asking for, you get $250 now and $250 at the end of the semester. I'm asking for one reel or one video, whatever it is, a week from your respective domain, your respective area. And you assign these people as if they're like journalists. You start with the communication. If you're studying communications, maybe you get an upvote in the application process or something like that, because you should want this shit. It allows people to use their creative talents. It allows people that want to be creators to test out the game. 3, every freaking video is authentic because your only objective is like cover, as you would like a journalist, this particular like niche aspect of campus. And then, oh my gosh, you will have so much content, like you won't know what to do with.
Yeah.
People, that is so simple. It is so cheap.
Yeah.
And that should be like a no-brainer. Every freaking school should do that.
I mean, you don't even really need to pay people. Like,
or you could even not even pay people,
I think people's desire alone to like, okay, you're going to share my profile. I could potentially become a creator from this. I mean, I don't remember
video
the
could go
exact
viral.
Number. Yeah, exactly.
On the university account, which would be huge for them.
I'm pretty sure, like, of jobs, I don't remember. I saw this a while ago. It's basically something like people born after the year 2000. I think in the top 3 desired jobs, YouTubers
is number one. It's number one. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, these people just want that potential and that fame. Great, here's a platform. Like that is your payment.
Give them the platform.
Is getting you up and going, and if you have personality and you can make it, you'll build your own traction. Like
you gamify
it. Just needs
if
a
you
good
pass
pitch.
1 million views or whatever, you get X or Y. Yeah.
If you have a good pitch, these people would do this for free, and then incentivize them. Yeah, with like, hey, bring in this much attention and whatever, and you'll get paid X amount. And like treat it like they're a YouTuber, and that's how YouTube works. You can put out 1 billion videos, but if you get no views, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
But if you get 1 video with 1 billion views, you're making a lot of money.
And then you set up these check-ins throughout the semester where like creators all get together. They get to share tips and tricks, like what's working, what's not. And it's almost like maybe you even find a way to give them like a little bit of class credit. I don't know. We're talking off the deep end now. But like, point being, this is so simple. It is so simple.
Yeah.
It is easy to execute, and the potential is freaking massive.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I mean,
any journalism major.
Yeah.
That should be a course.
Yeah.
Like here's how to do a good video.
The future of journalism is Instagram influencer, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, Georgetown has a master's course where you learn how to shoot video on an iPhone.
Oh,
and like what stuff you need. It's like ring light. It's like the best mic that you can get to plug into your thing. It's like a whole how to shoot a professional video on your iPhone. It's a course. Georgetown's not like
think about
community college either.
Think about like Oculus too, and
community
like
colleges are great. I didn't mean that.
What are the what are the Meta partnered with Ray-Bans to put the what are those like glasses called?
I don't know.
I'm just thinking of the Snapchat ones.
No, but they're basically like it's a direct rip off of Snapchat.
Yeah.
But it's for like Ray-Bans and they're cool or whatever those things are called. Like that is the future. People are going to be wearing those like on campus. Like, and imagine being able to like literally you're watching the game, right? And you're just talking like as the game is happening, as if you were a actual TV sports reporter. But instead of publishing to like a network or to your school's network, which no one watches, you're publishing directly to Instagram.
Yeah.
Like that is where all this stuff is going. And I feel like if schools can get really smart about enabling these student creators, and again, you have to use the word creator because that's the sexy term right now. Like, I mean, that's how you go from, dude, we don't have any buzz. Dude, our inquiries are down. Dude, our enrollment's down. To actually being a brand that people discuss.
Yeah.
Like if people discuss your brand, a lot of your other problems, assuming it's not totally negative, a lot of your other problems will be solved.
Yeah. Some copyright issues in there, but
we'll overlook those.
Future problem.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it, guys.
All right, folks. That was fun. I had fun.
That was.
I don't know if you guys had fun. I had fun.
I feel like that's the most. I think if what would be great before we get into the final promo here, I would love a chopped up version of all the things Dan has said in the Brewstorm. Once we're done season 1.
Yeah.
Everything you've ever said.
And we could put it
and how long it is, and then see like, hey, episode 1, 15 seconds. Episode 2, 35.
Like a line graph.
Yeah, and just a nice like.
Bro, I thought you were gonna say cut it into a video, and I was like, "That's
do that.
Yeah, do that.
But then chapter the video.
That would be a great 15-second Instagram story.
Speaking of highlight reels.
There you go. Well, thank you to Doubletake Promotional Marketing for sponsoring this episode and all episodes of the Brewstorm. Matt and his team there are incredible. If you need new swag, and you know that you do, everyone needs new swag, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone needs new swag. Head on over to Doubletake Promotional Marketing and check out their pendants, check out their sweatshirts, check out their epic koozies. Again, they have a lot of swag. If you see something that you need that's not there, just let me know and I'll contact Matt directly. You'll be hearing more from them and their team soon, but for now, peace out.
Zach unintentionally signed up as a customer service rep.
Dude, I will be a customer service rep for Doubletake Promotional Marketing any day.
Boom. Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Great quality. Pose for the thumbnail.
That was good.
That was good. Honestly. And I'll do the Porky the Pig. That's all, folks. All right, we good?